friends, what is up? Greg Newmaster coming at you again with another action figure review. There's so many figures that have been coming out lately in the past year. Surprisingly, with COVID, it's been hard to keep up. But today I have Retro Marvel Legends Spider-Man, the Retro series. I'm a massive Spider-Man fan. I've done a big video, if you want to watch that, comparing my favorite Spider-Man action figures of all time. But here today we have Retro Spider-Man. I have so many Spider-Man figures, but I saw this one and I just couldn't help myself. I had to get it. The card is evocative of Spider-Man, the animated series. It's the same card they had back then. The same as my superposable Spider-Man. I love that figure. That was when articulation started to go to the next level. It was always with the Spider-Man figure, so I love that very much. But I saw this figure and I had to get it, especially because I like the mask. It also looks like they have two masks, and one is a classic Spider-Man mask, which looked really cool. So I had to get it too. Also, people love the pizza Spider-Man, that Hasbro released, I don't know, like 5 years ago. I mean, for whatever reason, people love that figure, but I think this one is far superior, especially with the new body mold that they have. So let's get into this. Here's the card. That's the animated series looking Spider-Man. There's the logo from the 90s Spider-Man animated series. Love it. Love it. Here is the back. There's some writing on there. It says, bitten by a radioactive spider, Peter Parker now possesses all the arachnids' attributes. He's the amazing Spider-Man. Can't you just hear Stan Lee saying that in your mind? But anyhow, I've done a bunch of videos on Spider-Man so far, and he's just one of my, if not my favorite comic book character of all time, one of my top 5, top 3 at least. But this series is awesome. I've collected everyone except for Electro, because I just don't really give a crap about Electro. But I'm going to do a Daredevil video as well. I did one on Gwen Stacy, Green Goblin, the Peter Parker figure, and now let's open the Retro Spider-Man. It's a shame. I don't normally care about the cards, but I like this, and I don't want to open it, but I'm going to open it. So we can experience this together, friends. The fun of community and collecting. And, oh wow, this is glued within the card, so it's like 2 layers. So I have to kind of peel it back to get it out. So I'm definitely going to mutilate this card. So that's going to lower the resale value if I ever decide to sell this guy, but I probably won't. But let's check him out here. Sorry, guys. So, to start off, I really like, they darken the red. It's like a dark cherry red. And instead of a brighter cherry red that the pizza Spidey had. So I really like it. And it's a darker blue. I got some paint scuffs on mine, right on the belt there. But let's go. Let's get oh, look, that's a nice classic logo on the back, like that back symbol. I love it. They really went all out with the articulation on this, which I really appreciate. The only thing that it's missing in the standard Spider-Man articulation, at least from the past, is the toe articulation. But let's get a good look at that mask. It's a good looking mask. It's standard. It looks classic. It looks like the animated series, the way they drew the eyes on the animated series. I'm actually going to pop this head off because I don't like this mask as much. The reason I got it... Oh, wow. Look at that. That's new. You guys see that ball joint there? That is a new... I don't know if that's different too on the back of the neck. There's a little slit cut out there. Wow, that's new articulation. Instead of the standard ball joint, they have a slit there, and it normally goes back and forth, but they changed that. So it's a double jointed ball joint. How about that? Wow, that's crazy. So I'm going to pop that. Yeah, look at that. Now, I love that mask. That is truly classic late 60s, early 70s looking Spider-Man. Ooh, so, because of that new ball joint, it's really hard to turn his head. I may have to lubricate that because I'm afraid if I don't, it's going to snap off. It's real tight. That's kind of scary, so I don't like that. I'm having trouble turning the head. Wow. So anyhow, all right, so be careful with that if you guys get this figure. Let's go over real quick. I'll do the articulation last, but in terms of accessories, you get 2 heads and you get 2 fisted hands. So here are the fisted hands. Oh, dropped him. Here's the other one. Sorry about that, guys. Fisted hand. The webbing looks really nice on the gloves. So that looks good. Yeah. So you get 2 fisted hands. This is the mask that came on it. Like I said, that looks like the animated series mask. There's the top. And there's the bottom if you guys want to see that. So animated series mask. Also the eyes are, they're sticking out. They're not just painted on. So I appreciate that detail too. So the eyes are sculpted. So there's texture there. I really appreciate that. But let's go over the articulation. So this is a new sculpt. We have this kind of is the way they did the Marvel Universe figures, the 3-inch figures, in the torso joint. So he has super crunch there. So 2 levels of crunch. Not only does he have it here, which is so there's that crunch on this is the Spider-Man from the 2-pack. This is the pizza Spidey mold. And now we have 2 levels of crunch. So, and then the torso is what turns, and there's no waist articulation. There's no waist cut or rotation. So we got severe torso articulation and that's what you need for Spidey, because you have to get him in his awesome poses. But he looks really good. You go 360 degrees with that. Let's get a look at that mask. That is just classic Spider-Man, and I'm really happy they made this sculpt. Looks great, because I don't really have, I used to have the Toy Biz classic Spider-Man from the first Marvel Legends wave, but I got rid of that. And then I used to have the San Diego Comic-Con Stan Lee Spider-Man figure, like the first one, not the newer one, where he came with the soft good clothes, but I sold that one too. But that looks fantastic. Really, really good. If you're looking for a classic Spider-Man, looks great. Articulation, let's continue. So the head goes, so he can kind of do like a turtle, like he can do a chin tuck. That's interesting. And he can look up that high, but now with the new version of the articulation, there's like gappage there. So that kind of looks weird. I don't know if I like that. Like I said, he can turn, but like I need to lubricate this because it feels like it's going to snap this pin in his neck. So with the new articulation in the neck, I'm not sure if I like that so much because it's more fragile. But look at that torso articulation. That's great. We can even tilt him to the sides. He's got butterfly joints, which is fantastic. You can get him in great dynamic poses with those joints. He can get his arms, like he's clapping, doing a thunderclap, almost together. Here are the other set of hands that come on the figure. His web shooting hands pose, or heavy metal. Yeah. But very nice. Let's see, shoulders go up. Shoulders don't go all the way up, which is kind of annoying. Get them up about that high. So that's kind of stupid. They didn't make the cut deep enough, so his shoulder can't go all the way up. We got full rotation. We got double jointed elbows, which I love. We got articulation in the wrists, so you can do the web shooting pose. 360 degree rotation in the wrist. That really bothers me, that paint mess up there. Double jointed knees. Let's see, we got boot cut articulation. We got thigh cut articulation. Ankle rocker up and down. We got pivot. So if you want to do pivot, dynamic poses, you don't have to worry about the figure falling over. You can get him, let's see if you can get him in his crouching pose. Almost. The problem is he doesn't have the articulated toe joints, but you can get him in some nice crouching poses. You see that? He's a 6-inch figure, by the way, guys. It's 6 inches. That's what he looks like from the back. So really great figure. Lots of dynamic posing. I really like the colors. You know, I said to myself I wasn't going to get any more Spider-Man figures after the Mafex Spider-Man, but I don't know. This guy just caught my eye, and he was cheap. So like about $20, I would say. Here he is with, this is the Spider-Man from the 2-pack. So this Spider-Man actually looks leaner. This Spider-Man is more muscular. He's a little, wow, he's actually a little taller than this mold. Couple centimeters, it looks like. So he's taller, he's more muscular. Here he is compared to my all-time favorite Spider-Man. This is the Mafex Spider-Man comic book version. I think this is the ultimate Spider-Man figure. He is fairly bigger than the Mafex figure. So if you check that out. But this figure is crazy articulated. Just got magnets, like different feet, different hands. Just this guy right here, Mafex. Perfect Spider-Man figure. You can get knockoffs for really cheap too, and they're really good quality. So I highly recommend, if you didn't get this figure, get him. Let's take a look at the chest symbol, just because I didn't show you guys it. This doesn't look like the old school chest symbol in my memory, but it looks like more of like the 80s, 90s version, but it's still cool looking. Here he is compared to, this is Spider-Man 2, Superposable Spider-Man, Toy Biz. This guy is an awesome figure too. He's a little bit over-articulated though. Here is the original coolest Spider-Man figure of all time, the McFarlane Spider-Man. This guy is like, McFarlane Spider-Man is a string bean. Like, he's super skinny. Yeah, look at those two compared together. Very, very skinny, but really awesome figure. This was the coolest Spider-Man figure for a very long time. Love this guy. And this is also one of the best Spider-Man figures ever made. This is Snapshot Spider-Man. This guy has more of a classic look as well. He has the light blue, older style mask from the 70s, I would say. But this guy is really jacked. Like, they made his shoulders way too big. And here he is with retro Peter Parker, which is awesome. So anyhow, guys, I highly recommend this figure. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. I love Spider-Man. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, you got to get this figure. Highly recommend it. God bless. Peace.